Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Give me just a second. Um, Give me just a sec, guys. I just need to organize my screens, okay? Just one sec. I'll be right with you. Okay, let's get ourselves organized. Share. Okay. Oh, no. Cancel, cancel, cancel. All right, somebody say hello to me in chat, ask Boris. I need to make sure you guys are hearing me. Good morning from here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, screen is good? Everybody's good? Okay, super. Hey guys, so we're very quiet day today because obviously Jackson Hole starts today. Markets are meandering, which is about the only thing you can say about them. We do have, I mean, it's maybe worth a shot for us on a very, very small base. I'm actually going to do this on a very, very small basis. We're a little bit late on this trade, but this is a sell signal against the stop here would be 413, right? On a Dow. So worth a shot here. I'm actually literally going to take the smallest possible size on this right now, just because, you know, it's pre-market open, but I will sell the, so here I am, I'm selling the Dow right now at this level. It's late against the signal, but fine for me. The stop is right above the swing high, which is our new structure. So this is a legitimate sell signal. We actually, do we have a legitimate sell signal in the NAS too? Let me see. Is that a multi buy signal? Yes. So the sell signal in NAS too. Let's play the NAS as well. Again, the tiniest amount. I'm only trading the tiniest amount here because I have, you know, it's Jackson Hole. It's pre this. Let me put the stop here has to be much wider. It's got to be like 20. So it's got to be like a 20 stop on, yeah, it's a 20 stop on the, so NAS, the stop is like around 48. I'm entering here at 27, so it should be 17. 17 is pretty much what I'm looking for on the target for the NAS. And on the Dow, I guess I'm looking for a target around 80 to the downside. So very, very tiny little trades here that are positional session trades because we have a turn signal in both. But it's, you know, pre-market, hard to tell where we're going to go here. Today I sort of really want to play high lows. The high lows yesterday were very, very profitable later in the day, especially with the Dow. I don't know if you guys played them, later. And by the way, the turn signals were very good in the European session. You sort of just, with a turn signals, with a trend turn signal, you just want to basically, where am I? I'm actually, no, this wasn't a turn signal. This was, you basically in the Europeans, you just want to have like sort of one in the beginning of Europe, one possibly at the beginning of Asia, and two in North America, sort of like the pre-open and the post-open turn signals, sort of like the opening range. So you kind of want to have maybe 4 maximum trend turn signals. I'm calling it trend turn signals when we have multiple sells, 2 or more, followed by a buy, or multiple buys followed by a sell. So in Europe here, I actually traded this with normal size, and it was perfect as a turn signal in the NAS. And there was another really good one in the Dow as well, because the Dow at the European Open turned beautifully. So you had these multiple sells and the buy came in over here, and it was, it was an easy, super easy buy here. So, that variant works really, really well. It works even better, to be honest with you, on much longer term charts. That's something for us to explore much later. I'm running this in a beta mode, and I may have a beta. I may put us into a beta group after I come back from my vacation on trying to running this on 1 hour charts on currencies. It's really performed super well over the last month for me, and I want to run it, with bigger targets and bigger turns. But honestly, if you think about what we're doing, right, like kind of like what this particular strategy is doing on a visual basis, it's very, very simple. We're basically looking at the turn of trend and using pretty much the swing lows of the prior swings as our stops to provide us with intelligent with intelligent risk control. So in this particular case, right, like right now, the Dow turn is clearly not working. This is basically was a V-shaped sell-off, and it seems to be running back up towards the highs. And if it takes out the highs, then so be it. This would be a failed setup in pre-market on a turn. This was a successful setup in the European market on the turn. And the idea here is you basically trying to win 3 out of 4 times in a day per instrument. So if you're running 2 instruments, you're looking for 6 out of 8 if you can. The Nasdaq is less less negative, and this is a sharp sell-off. This is the swing high against which we're holding our position, and this could take a long while to develop. I mean, Nasdaq, it just seems to be holding, but you get the general idea. Visually, what we were able to do is we can encapsulate this very accurately mathematically, a very obvious visual pattern that we see all the time, which is when trends turn, the swing high, swing low acts as the primary element of risk. And if you get the direction correct, if this indeed turns the direction to the downside, then it offers you really, really multiple risk possibilities, the other way. The biggest profit in all of trading comes from turn, not from trend, or turn into a fresh trend, which is the right way of defining it. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with this setup on a longer term basis. Does that make sense to everybody? Does everybody see what I'm talking about? So Dow's turned back up, giving us a buy signal. We're still going to stay to our stop, because even if we get a buy signal, the buy signal doesn't override the risk. What really overrides the risk is the price point. So if we get tagged out at 14 here, we get tagged out. Nasdaq doing nothing so far, so we don't have any danger. As I said, I have a tiny little position on this because I didn't have a lot of. This wasn't a trade that I had a lot of confidence in front of Jackson Hole and market open. You just don't know how things are going to work. But as the day progresses and we get a turn signal, it's probably going to be much more legitimate, much more valuable, and then you can come in with bigger size. You can come in with bigger size. In the meantime, we don't have any high lows, so we have to be patient in how we trade it. As I said, generally we prefer to fade the Dow and trade momentum on the Nasdaq. But honestly, first of all, Dow was actually a pretty good momentum trade yesterday to the downside, and Nasdaq was a pretty good mean reversion trade. It's not like it's really, the other essence, the other nuance of all of this is until things change, the mean reversion, where we're buying the dips, is a really great strategy. Meaning that selling the break of the highs, like selling the weakness at the highs, is always much more dangerous than buying the weakness at the lows, because there's such an incredible bias to buy the dip. If you look historically over the last night's trades, right, you'll see this is good. This is interesting. Let me just kind of run you through. Even in sort of like the collapse, what I call the collapse scenarios, where it started making fresh lows, right? So this is the fresh low that it made. Let's say at 2 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't awake. So you bought this. This is 16. You're trying to trade it with a 10.5. I think this actually made, yeah, this made the 5. So this was fine. Then it makes fresh lows over here, and I think it fails over here. So if you bought 10s, it doesn't quite go to 15. So let's say you get stopped out, and then you go for the for round 2, and boom. Not only does it make fresh lows, but if you really wanted to do a long exit strategy, you had a multiple of risk here. You went from 95 to 45. You had a 50 point. You had a 10-point risk here with a 50-point reward if you bought the absolute. If you bought this trade. The great thing about trading high lows is that eventually, and whether it's on the first try or on the second try, it's rarely on the first or second try, but sometimes on the third try, we literally buy the low of the day or the low of that particular session, which offers us just massive upside opportunities if the market turns, right? If the market turns the other way. So it's kind of interesting to just realize that. There's the same story in a Dow over here, where I was fighting the lows earlier. It was basically, you don't want to even begin to think about lows until about 8-9 o'clock at night, New York. Really, So the problem with trading the Dow during Asia session on CFDs is the spreads were just like, it's 3.5 spreads. You got to make 13 just to make your 10s. So it's not advisable, and you see how little liquidity there was. So I passed up on this one. I did take this one. That was an easy trade to the upside. Then there was a secondary trade here. Again, 16. The high here was 42. So more even with the spread, you made it, right? And then the next low was again over here. So it was 08. They went up to like 28. So still, you were still basically doing great, buying lows, buying lows. Then you have this crash over here on the European Open, very, very big candle. So this is always the bane of our existence. But remember, the way we trade this is we trade this. If we get stopped out on the reversal, right, we go right back on the second sort of a double bottom candle. So this candle over here, you buy it back, it just becomes a massive massive vertical move. The bottom line is you're going to put yourself into this fortunate position of buying the high or selling the high or buying the low multiple times during the day, as long as you trade small. And by small, I mean that my original starting size is 1/10 my balance. That's how I'm able to completely control my risk, because you're doing probative trades. When you're doing mean reversion is always probative. You're trying. And the reason why a lot of people fail at that particular strategy is because they try once, they give up. They try twice, they give up. And if they try 3 times, almost 99% of people give up at the third time. It's just human nature. And in fact, it's that going that extra 1% is where all the money is. That's where all the money is, because that's when everybody gives up. That's when you have the opportunity. And as long as you keep your powder dry and your capital in control, you can do really well. You don't even have to use the lever ratios that I'm using. Like, in other words, you could use you can use a 1-2 lever ratio. So on plan A, you come in 1 size. Plan B, you come in 2 size. Plan B basically sort of just then equalizes your position, doesn't quite give you full profit. Plan C, you come in at 4 size. If you just want to kind of wash your trades, you can do it that way, because throughout the day, your first trade, there will be 2 or 3 times when your first trade really works well. And if on your second, your third trade, if you just want to even them out, not necessarily make money on them, you can use lower levels. But doing it this way, you are essentially constantly putting yourself into a winning position, as long as you can control your risk. That's the really key thing here. Control your size, not control your risk. Controlling your risk is a given, because you have to trade this with fixed stops. but controlling your size is really the secret ingredient to making this thing work. You know. So very quiet, guys. We got what, 16 minutes into the open. Nothing much going on here. Looks like, you know, the Dow. We'll see if, you know, this may have been just a pre-market sell-off, and the bulls want to try and take out the highs. The market has been just a monster. It just refuses to die. So wow, you know what's interesting? I didn't even notice this. Look at Biddy. Biddy is down 4% today. So is ETH. That 50,000 really having a hard time clearing that 50,000 level. So that's sort of interesting. You know, but hopefully we'll get some trades into the market open rotation. The other thing I wanted to let everybody know is, obviously we don't have Zoom tomorrow. I canceled Zoom tomorrow because we have a kind of a welcome to Slack, welcome to the world of BK webinar. I'm going to go through the tools. The one reason you guys may all want to attend is I have all the brand new, you know, versions of tools, like nice. They're fully. We fixed some of the internal bugs in them. They're fully branded. They're really nice and cool looking. Those of you guys who are lifetime, just message me. I'll give you the lifetime versions. And then for everybody else, you know, we have like the expiry versions. But I will have all of that in the BK Tools Dropbox, fully set up, and you guys will have access tomorrow. So you may want to attend tomorrow just to get access to all of that stuff, because I'm going to demo all of it. Great, Gerald really likes the scalping tools. Yeah, as do I. So any questions? Anything you guys thinking about? Anybody trade anything today? Because, you know, we're just twiddling our thumbs this morning. And just to let you guys know, you know, we have our we have the Monday webinar, I believe, right? We have like the regular Monday webinar. And then after that, I think I'm leaving early on Tuesday. So I think that's going to be our last day of trade for about a week and a half until I come back. Where do I come back? Let me see when these New York City schools go back to school. So yeah, so we're leaving. I'm going to be leaving on the 31st. So it's really basically these 2 weeks, the last week of August and the first week of September, which is Labor Day in America, so on and so forth. So I'll be gone this whole area. Can't do trading because it's obviously, you know, my product is just not like Kathy's, where I can do it on vacation. But, you know, I'll be back and refreshed, and we'll be ready to trade after that. Hopefully the market doesn't go crazy. It's always inevitable that whenever I go on vacation, the markets just go crazy, but hopefully they'll be nice and quiet. So you see we're doing nothing, right? We have 10 minutes to the open. Let's see what the markets want to do here. Anybody trade the high lows this morning? Crossy, Miguel, anybody? Karen? Or is everybody just kind of twiddling their thumbs today, doing nothing? Oh, you traded breakout. Would you where did you trade breakout? I'm actually curious. Like, did you trade Dow or NASDAQ cross? And what did you trade what breakout was that? You talking about the downside breaks, the European Open where it broke to the downside, like this moves? These moves to the downside. So this is like around 3 o'clock in the morning. Was it a Dow? Did you trade the Dow? This would you sold the lows here on NAS. Okay. Let's see let's see what happened on NAS here. Where's Europe? Oh, this move over here. Yeah, that was a pretty good move. So that was like 7 to, so like a 15-point move here, right? That was the move you traded for the downside? Yeah. That's cool. It's really interesting how different personalities take to the different variant of the strategy. Like Crossy loves to trade momentum. But regardless of whether you trade momentum or reversal, the important point is that the high lows is what really determines the edge in that strategy. Otherwise, you don't want to come in. So I think I'm getting close to getting tagged on my Dow trade, which this is why I really didn't like to trade, but then so I went small size because I just wanted to, to see if possibly it might work. But it's clear that, we had a sort of a knee-jerk sell-off generally. One of the interesting things about this pattern that I realized is these technical patterns, when you have a change of trend, are really great when during basically normal market time, where it's a natural selling wave or a natural buying wave of buyers and sellers. There's kind of a transition of sentiment. But prior to big events, all you have is just bullshit positioning, just somebody flushing volume down or flushing volume up on a pre-positioning basis for some kind of speculative flow. And it's the pre-positioning on these big event days that gives you lots of false signals. So this could very well be a false signal, for us. So it's interesting to know that's why you don't trade pre-NFP and anything else, because anything that happens prior to the event is just positioning noise, not a true price signal. After that, you get a much more confident price signal because people have had to absorb the information and they are reacting to it, through price. So it's a sort of an interesting nuance on how it's working. You took a short Dow at 845 on the comments. Let's see what's going on the fundus side here. Let's see what the news is telling us. Yeah, so that was Bullard's let's taper despite Delta thing, blah blah blah. Oh, that's why crypto's down, because Toomey is looking for clarifying laws. Yeah, Mel, I will. I'll take care of you. Yes, Mel. I'll get all that. I'll get all that to you guys tomorrow for everybody who's lifetime. So that was the Bullard comment. That was the only thing that's really going on. Nothing else going on here. Continued claims a little bit higher. Deflator. Wow, there's really no news. So boring. So boring. Okay, 5 minutes to the open. Let's not all get excited all at once. Let's see how it goes today. Okay. NAS is NAS has been the case. Has been the weaker index for the last couple of days. It's interesting. You know, one of the reasons why NAS has been weak is because of Apple. People are really Apple has been just kind of dragging the index down. We got 2 minutes to the open. Actually, still holding that. You know, those shorts in the Dow and the NAS. I'm not holding my breath, but still holding them. Okay, 2 minutes to the open. It might be interesting if Powell comes in, and even just slightly sounds hawkish, that really puts a lot of pressure on the. I think it's gonna just especially knock Nasdaq really hard down, and that then we're just selling it blind. Then we're gonna sell Nasdaq blind because that's a big momentum move to the downside. And the reason why, of course, is because Nasdaq trades on free money, and the moment there's even a tiny hint that the money is no longer going to be free, we could easily see 15,000 right back on the agenda. So we should keep our eyes open on that. That's really the only big possibility off of any kind of hawkish testimony on Jackson Hole. We'll see. When does Powell give his speech? Is it 10:30 today? Does anybody know the time? Because they're on the it's 10 Eastern tomorrow is the big speech. Okay, so tomorrow. So that should be really interesting. So today may not even have much of an impact. All right, opening up, NAS goes up, Dow goes down. Oh, did I make money on my Nasdaq? On my Dow? Really? Oh, I think, yeah, because that was short from here. Sorry, guys, I totally forgot. Wow, I wasn't even paying attention. Oh no, hold on a second. Hold on, what happened here? What happened to my trades? Yes, I made money on my Dow, but I got stopped on my Nasdaq. Ah, that's interesting. So, okay, Nas is above session highs. We're not going to chase the Nas trade. There's no real trade here until we get to the highs. But this is it fully recovered this gap here. So it was a 1 for 2. I stopped on the Nas. I made money on the Dow on this big dip. You know, it was minuscule, so it doesn't really matter. We don't have any real trades until we get some movement here. So let's just watch this for a time being. So I'm going to set myself up for both Dow and the Nas. Oh, Dow's going through, trying to go through the highs. May want to trade the Dow through the highs. I may be willing to give it a little bit of a momentum move here. If the Dow goes 420, I'll be a buyer. So watching this right now. NASDAQ is far away from the highs. Dow's a little closer, but still not. Let's watch the price action here. Basically, I think it's 68 on the NAS. That's the highs of the day. Let's watch that. Dow backed off the highs. I think I just want to sell the Dow a little bit here. Nah. All right. I'm gonna leave it alone. No trades. I thought that you could have taken this as a possible reversal candle, but it was super fast to the downside, and it's not worth it at this point. Keep an eye on the Dow here. The first pierce I want to buy, and then after that I want to start selling. So let's just see if it starts to go higher. Again, 20 is a buy for me. Buy. I'm in the trade. Okay, let's see if this goes any higher. $26, $29. And I'm taking 7, guys. I took 7 off this big move. If you're with me, great. And then I'm going to kind of watch this right now. It may push a little higher, but I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch it for a failure. If I get a failure candle, then now it's pushing higher. So if you guys are patient enough, you could have made the full 10. So let's so I hit the 7 over here. I don't want to show this on my thing because I'm blocking the charts. But yeah, it was 6 over here, and now I'm waiting for. We might get a failure candle. Let's see if this candle fails. Again, I'm trading off screen because I don't want to mess up the charts. When I come back, by the way, hopefully I'll be able to place trades, and you'll be able to see them on the actual screen. So they'll be so much easier. Ooh, Jesus, that's a huge reversal. I hate taking this trade, but it may be worthwhile still. It's a big failure here on the highs, right? So it's 12. All right, I sold it. Ooh, I sold it at a bad price. Damn. Okay, I'm short this thing. I'm shorted, and I'm gonna take. It was super fast. I got a bad price fill on this thing. I wanted to come in. It gave me like 6 or 7, and just a bad execution. So now I'm in the trade, but I'm vulnerable. Okay, fine. This is if this is going to tag us out, we're gonna wait for a second failure. was sized if it tagged us out. This is a typical Dow move here, where because I came in over here, it gave me instantly like 6 points, but it was just too fast on a move, even with a scalp. So now I have to watch it. This my one big fear was that this was a 50-point reversal candle. So like the whole profit was in the candle. You knew you're going to have a big retrace risk on this trade, which we continue to have. But let's see if we can survive the retrace risk. We'll see. That's my take on this. It's going to be where are we at now? 47. So I'm like at around 97 on the futures is where I would be at TP. Now that's not going my way now. Let's see. So we're still nursing this short because we sold the lows basically on a very heavy reversal candle, and we're obviously vulnerable to retrace risk, which is what's happening against us. It was just luck of the draw on how the candle just reversed, because it reversed off the highs, but almost all the profit was in the candle itself. Now we're just trying to see if we can hold on to it. As I said, I need to see actually like 97. So it's not impossible to, if we can get 97 on the futures, I will be done. So I'm staying in the trade. Let's see if we can, if the trade can turn for us. Nope. It's going against us. We're going to be vulnerable to retrace risk. It looks like we're going to get retraced into this trade. Okay, I'm going to take 7. I have 7 on the trade. It was just too much of a torture trade. As I said, it was going to, it's going to go into the 90s. And actually now I knew it was going to go. So I took 7 on this. If you guys took the full 10, good for you. Good for you guys. Miguel took 10, Dow 20. Good job, Miguel. Miguel just it's got balls of steel. But yeah, I mean, you could tell I was off base just because of execution. That was my biggest problem. But thematically, the setup worked. We had a reversal off the highs. It eventually pressed to the downside. I was trading from behind the whole time the trade was there, but it eventually worked for us. So we took it. Good for us. Now it's probably going to like really crash to the downside. What was my take on this? Yeah, I took 7, 10. Good job. Okay. Anybody take that trade? Anybody manage to survive that trade with all that volatility? Besides Miguel? Yeah, it was a tough trade. I mean, and it was probably smart not to take it because you had a 43 to 403, a 40-point move on a 1 minute candle. So like literally all the profit, the reversal profit was kind of baked into this. And then, we sold this, we had to suffer all of the spikes below. And eventually it did give us a profit move. And now it might run to fresh highs. Now it's interesting. So I'm going to watch the trading here, because if we run to fresh highs, I'm more interested in I wonder if I'm going to make a run for it. I'm kind of interested in making the run for it. Let's see. If it closes above 40, if it holds the highs, close above 40, it might be worthwhile to get a long thing. But right now, it looks like it may be failing at the highs again. Let's watch this carefully. But again, if this fails at the highs on a 40, again, it looks like it's just reversing like a 40-point candle. I don't want to make that same mistake again. But it does look like it's double topping there. It's really just making a big move. Okay, we're going to pass up on this reversal candle, even though it's obviously super, super strong, because it's so like, wow, look at that, totally reversed the highs. All the profit was in this candle. There's probably some continuity here, but the retrace risk is just not worth it for us. So we'll let it be. You're seeing the kind of washout two-way nature in the Dow right now. Makes it very treacherous to position yourself. Even if you have the right thematic idea, it's still very treacherous to position yourself. But it's working. Wow, look at that. Look at that nice reversal. That really did work. The second reversal did work. I wimped out, and the move really had some nice continuity. Dow really reversed nicely here. Now we're getting into the old NAS moving to highs, Dow moving to lows move. Still not at session highs on a NASDAQ here, so still not quite a trade. If you want to play a little bit of a bounce back off the trend line here, you could do small size on the Dow here. If you wanted to just do a small size here on the trade, it's not a great looking candle, but I just I got long just for a tiny bit. Let's see, just to play this bounce off, because it was a buy candle here, and it looks like it got done, so that worked. So that was like another 10 points. I was eyeing this support area. It's not our standard trade, but it's better than nothing. So waiting for NQ. like Miguel is. We're all waiting patiently for it to break highs or lows. Yeah. Really quiet action here. Not much going on. Nasdaq is trying to crawl up. I'm really trying to extend it. That 60 area on the NAS been a pretty interesting resist point. Like they've just been selling the 1560s. If they can barrel through here, I think they're going to take the 70s, and we definitely want to join that move. Nope, the 60s, the 60 resistance holds. They couldn't take it up. Now look at this. Look at this chop city today. We managed to just literally, trade this move here and this move here. That's all. That's all there was. There was just no direction whatsoever. Karen, you trading anything right now? Anybody holding any positions? No follow through at all. It's all just chop city. I mean, it's just, I think it might be that kind of a day today. It may be worthwhile for us to just wrap up shop. I'm just waiting to see if there's one more final attempt to run the highs in the NASDAQ. Yeah, they've come at it like 3 or 4 times. So I'm just watching NAS here a little bit. Yeah, Dow is really Dow's starting to turn down. It feels like the markets are afraid that there'll be more of a taper talk out of the Jackson Hole, sort of a more hawkish posture, and it seems to have stocks on edge a little bit. Dow continues to hold the trend line. It was a second trade off that bounce. If you took it, I was kind of thinking about it for a little bit. Well, I think we got to admit today is the quietest session we've had in a long time. Only 2 trades, or maybe 3 trades. Managed to survive them all. Other than that, I think we're gonna have to call it quits. There's not much going on here. If we start breaking out to the highs a little bit later in the day, that might be worth a look. But it feels like it's a quiet day ahead of tomorrow when the risk really comes in. So unless things change radically, I don't anticipate too much moves here. So thank you guys. Let's get together tomorrow for the Welcome to the World of BK. If we have a chance after the first half hour, I'm going to do just basically introduction and all sorts of conversation about the stuff. But if we have a chance, maybe we'll get a chance to trade it afterwards, because it'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow, so it'll be good. All right, guys. Thanks again. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see you later.